Mm, I guess it's time for another must-watch and stuff of another retro anime. And I was thinking, after I was finished Escribe, I decided to watch another anime, and that anime itself was called Petite Princess Lady Yucie. Actually, it's Petite Princess Yucie, but this was made by Studio Gainax, and surprisingly enough, there are tons, and I do mean tons, of Studio Gainax anime I've yet to watch. People always think of Spoolie Cooley, painting stockings, Gurren Lagann, and stuff, and then Trigger stuff when it comes to Gainax stuff. But there's more they have done throughout the years that don't get enough attention. And I believe it was Codfish TV way back then showed a video of it, and I'm like, wow, this looks very interesting. I decided to give it a watch. So here's the premise of it. It focuses on Lady Yushi, a girl who's 17 years old, but is actually have not aged after the age of 10. So despite her being an adult in her world, she still looks like a child, and she can't stand this. She wants the world to see her as an adult, and she believes by becoming a platinum princess, she will be able to get her wish granted to look like an adult. So she joins the academy to rank up in order to be worthy of the platinum tiara. Yes, a platinum tiara. Now, the world itself is very interesting. In this world, there's other dimensions. You have the demon world, the angel world, the spirit world. You have the fairy world as well, and plenty others as well. But the main ones you'll focus on are those five right there, because there's also four other characters to be introduced to as well. Each princess is being represented of that world who are Platinum Princess candidates. They're those who have the potential to become the Platinum Princess by collecting the shards of the Platinum Tiara. Now, for some reason back in the day, in the 90s and the early 2000s, a lot of anime, whether it was shonen, shoujo, romance, whatever it may be, it was always a collection. You always had to collect something. Dragon Ball, shards, jewels, weapons. You had to collect something all the time back in the day in these animes. But they were entertaining nonetheless. So in this show, you had to collect the shards in order to create the Platinum Tiara from each world. Now, as they entered this academy, they also found out that Lady Yushi is not the only one with this problem with the aging process. The other princess candidates also have this problem as well. They're all adults in a way, but they can't age after the age of 10 for some reason. It's very mysterious. Why is that? I'm not going to spoil. So, anyways, as they work their way up becoming the Platinum Princess, they start kind of repetitive. The beginning of the show does. It's where they'll take a job and then they'll work that job. Now, this is weird. Why are princesses taking jobs? Well, I believe it's to show the princesses have some humility and understanding how the average person has to go through. They go on this board and have to pick out a job to do for a while. To complete that job by getting the workers' approval in a way. Whether it's farming, baking, doing clothes, um, all kinds of stuff that they could be doing. But even taking care of children is very interesting. And as they take care of these jobs, they learn more about themselves and what they lack and what they're good at as well, which is a good learning process. It starts off very repetitive in the beginning as it introduces the new characters to us as time goes on, but later on it starts really getting story involvement as it usually does. Repetitive is there is just to show us more of the characters until all the main cast is introduced, and then that's when the show can truly kick off. The show's animation for its time was actually pretty interesting, wacky, cartoony. It was funny, hilarious. The side characters are also good. The suitors, in a way, we have a demon suitor, a robotic suitor, a little fairy suitor, a ghost suitor, all the suitors for each princess, pretty much. Then, of course, you have the fathers. The mothers are never shown. It's all about the girls and their fathers. The demon princess has her father, the ghost princess and her father, the fairy princess, their father. It's each one have their own relationship for that. Ones are very daunting, ones are obsessive, ones are very distant and cold, and some are very just having a hard time in a way. And some are extremely shy. So there's that. So I guess the daddy's girls thing. After Yucie, apparently her father was a legendary hero of the kingdom. And for some reason, this dude decided to stop being not just a knight, but also the hero of that said kingdom, just to take care of Lady Yucie. Now, all the time I was watching this show, one thing I was interested in was seeing this guy's backstory. Seeing what did he do to become a hero? What was it that the adventures, the trials he went through? Because the only thing you really get is the symptoms and the reason why he quit being a knight and a hero the first time. And then you also get the first outro sequence of the show where it shows him and this man all banged up and battered. And I guess this is where he first finds Lady Yucie and stuff during war or an expedition. Either way, it piqued my interest and stuff. Like, what has this guy gone through to be so badass? But yet, on the outcome, he's so kind and daunting, and all he wants to do is cook delicious food for his daughter and stuff. So that's the kind of guy he is, you know. So she really was raised in a good home, you know. She was adopted and stuff. I also want to know how come a demon is also living with them that is very loyal to this guy, but he seemed to be a traitor to the demon world in a way. But devils still don't seem to be mad about it. Now, one of my favorite characters in the show is definitely Grenda. Grenda, the demon princess. My God, she wants to rule the world, and she's completely obnoxious. She wants to take over Earth by being completely mean, rude, and nasty. Doesn't see the point of being nice or being the princess candidate like the others in a way. She wants to become the platinum princess, but her own terms, you would see. She looks down on everyone until she meets her match, which is the angel princess. And the angel princess got some serious daddy issues, by the way. But nonetheless, it was very entertaining. There were some times where I felt sad and like, wow, I really actually went there and stuff, where it was showing how not everything's going to have a happy ending in some stories that they go by, some lessons that they learn, you know. So I like how it was very down to earth for such a fantasy kind of anime. It was like, yeah, not everything goes the way you want it to go, and not everyone's gonna have a happy ending. So I'm like, okay. There's also love interest. There's Ark, the dude going around who's actually the prince in disguise, who's looking for the history of the Platinum Tiara for some reason, and seemed to have fallen a love interest relationship with Yucie, the main character. Now, the thing I like about this is that, you know, Takagi, skill taker Takagi, and how everyone talked about her forehead. No, Yucie was the queen of foreheads way before Takagi was. Her head was so big to the point that the prince was always making fun of her forehead. Just calls her forehead all the time. And you can see the progression of the relationship is when it's the point where she gets annoyed of him calling her forehead, to the point where every time he says forehead, she just like, yeah, what up? She's not even mad about it no more later on in the show. She's like, that's just my name. Like, she doesn't mind him calling her that. I guess anyone does, and some people do make fun of her forehead. She gets mad about it. But when he does it, to the point where their relationship bonds grow, it's like, okay, he calls me it, you know, that's his little nickname for me. So she's totally down to show how it grows. It was kind of cute. And by the way, there's also even some pride representation. Yes, exactly. Back in the early 2000s, there was pride representation on TV. Yes. So it didn't just happen recently a couple years ago. No. It actually happened between the Ghost Princess and the Fairy Princess. Yeah. The Ghost Princess, who always seems to be out of place and very shy. Then you have the Fairy Princess, who's, believe it or not, actually a true lone wolf of the matter, and is very aggressive and very tomboy-like, but starts being red, flustered over the Ghost Princess every time they encounter each other and stuff. So there's that as well, yeah. Representation in that, and it didn't bother me because, you know why? It was perfectly executed, you know. It was just them just being them, a normal thing. It wasn't all the way up in the forefront, like shoving it in our faces constantly. Now, one thing I have to complain about the show, and only one thing, is the ending. I don't mean the whole ending, just the very, very last of the ending. That is it. It was a troll. You did not have to make it a dream sequence. You did not have to do that. That's all I want to say. Dream sequence was not needed. They could have just went what they had and just ended right then and there. And everyone would have been happy. Nope, it was all a dream. No, not the whole entire thing, but a certain scene that happens at the very end had to make it look like a dream. And it was dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. I can't stand it. But altogether, though, I really did enjoy this anime. It was fun, it was wacky, it kept my attention. Even the opening was very catchy and stuff like that. And I want to start watching more Studio Gainax stuff, see what else they got in their thing. I know there's that one isekai, the Sharpening Arcade one I'm watching right now. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. So I hope you guys give it a try. And some of y'all probably already watched it because this is a class. Well, I won't say classic, but it's a hidden gem. I would say it's very good, very entertaining, funny. It will pull your heartstrings when it needs to. Very enjoyable. So definitely a must watch. So that's all I got in the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox on anime. Signing out.